All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Nicole Listimo with the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, and I will be doing your weekly weather briefing for Thursday, February 21st, 2019. We have a few things to talk about today. There's been a lot going on. First of all, we're going to cover the current flash flood watch that's in effect. We're going to talk a little bit about what's causing all the rain. We're going to talk about the status of the rivers, creeks, and streams across much of Georgia. And then we're going to get into the forecast for the rest of the week into the weekend. We're going to get into the expected rainfall amounts, and then we're going to get into the question everybody is asking, when is this rain going to end? And then we're going to talk about the severe thunderstorm potential for Saturday. Currently, we do have the flash flood watch in effect for areas mainly along and north of Interstate 85. This watch is in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. However, depending on whether the axis of heavy rainfall shifts a little northward or a little southward with the new model data coming in, this watch may have to be extended either later today or a new one may have to be issued early tomorrow. What is causing all this rainfall? Well, we have a deep moisture plume from the Pacific Ocean, and it's providing the fuel for the rounds of showers and thunderstorms across much of the southeast United States. At the surface, we have a stall frontal boundary, and it provides focus for the deep Pacific moisture. Occasionally, we'll have a low pressure wave that develops and moves along the stall boundary, producing waves of widespread precipitation. This front, in combination with the deep moisture, will continue into the weekend. However, a cold front will begin to approach the area later on Saturday. For Sunday, we are going to have some scouring out of clouds and precipitation because the cold front's going to move through, and we're going to get a much needed break from the rain and thunderstorms Monday and Tuesday, and we'll see the sun again. What's going on with our rivers, creeks, and streams? Well, currently we have 25 points above flood stage, and it is forecast for 5 more points to go above flood stage through the next couple of days. And I want you to remember, even after the rain ends, these creeks and rivers could remain in flood. How much rain did we have last night? Well, across the watch area, we generally had 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. There were some locally higher amounts. Earlier in the week, we had an additional 1 to 3 inches of rainfall in the same area. So this heavy rainfall or prolonged heavy rainfall has caused the soils to become very saturated, mainly along and north of the Interstate 85 corridor. The forecast rainfall amounts for the remainder of the afternoon for the watch area, another up to an inch. Further south, where the heavier rainfall axis has shifted, up to 1.5 inches, and mainly south of LaGrange to Griffin to Eatonton, less than 0.5 inches. Forecast rainfall amounts for tonight through Sunday, another widespread 1 to 2 inches across areas north of LaGrange to Griffin to Eatonton. Locally higher amounts are always possible. An inch or less possible south of this line. So North Georgia remains in the crosshairs for locally heavy rainfall through Sunday afternoon. Because the soils are so saturated, it doesn't take a lot of rainfall to create flash flooding. So the Weather Prediction Center is keeping much of North Georgia in a slight risk for excessive rainfall for the remainder of the afternoon, which covers the watch area. For Friday, The axis has shifted a little bit further north and west, but the far northwest corner of Georgia remains in a slight risk for excessive rainfall. Saturday, a little better news. We're only in a marginal risk for excessive rainfall in the far northwest corner. However, you guys should stay tuned, because if the forecast heavy rainfall axis shifts a little further south, this could mean the potential for flash flooding will increase a little further south than where they had the marginal risk. Not only do we have to worry a little bit about flash flooding, we are getting into some potential for severe weather. Luckily not today or tomorrow. We are just in a marginal risk for thunderstorms today and tomorrow. Widespread severe thunderstorms are not anticipated, but a strong thunderstorm cannot be ruled out. However, the potential will increase for Saturday as a cold front approaches from the west. The Storm Prediction Center has placed northwest Georgia in a slight risk for severe thunderstorms. Damaging wind gusts and isolated tornadoes would be the primary severe thunderstorm threat. I want you guys to remember, though, since the soils are so saturated, even sub-severe wind gusts will down trees, and we've seen reports of many trees down over the last several days with wind gusts of 20 to 30, maybe 40 miles an hour. So to recap the severe weather impacts for today and Friday, the main impact would be from flash flooding. What are the impacts from this? Well, drains that are clogged or overwhelmed could cause extensive street flooding. Flooding in low-lying or flood-prone areas will be likely. River, creeks, and streams, flooding will continue. And again, a reminder about the trees with the saturated soils. You're going to have down trees, even with wind gusts that are sub-severe. As we shift into Saturday with the approaching cold front, not only do we have impacts from any potential flash flooding, but we're starting to see severe thunderstorm potential impacts for damaging winds or isolated tornadoes as the cold front approaches. And again, flash flooding potential will remain across far northwest Georgia. But the system, the cold front, will be pretty fast moving, with precipitation quickly ending behind the front. So a summary, what we've talked about today: the flash flooding potential will continue into Saturday and early Sunday for portions of North Georgia. Rivers, creeks, and streams will likely remain in flood for several days, even after the rainfall has ended, and the potential for severe thunderstorms will increase on Saturday. All right, that's it, you guys. If you have any questions, you can just pop them into chat.